So hello everyone, I welcome you all to the Concept YouTube channel. So today's topics are: first topic is counter China strategy, second is horizontal and vertical accountability. Again, a very important topic, and this is related with paper 2. Next is patriarchy and social inequality. So yesterday I have discussed UPSC mains paper, essay paper. We have discussed in this. There was one topic, patriarchy and social inequality. So we will discuss about it as well. And there is an article which is related with this topic. So again, it's important. Next is about the GDP, Gangetic Plains, and in the end, I will give you the mains question. So this session is presented by me. My name is Saurabh Pandey. If you are preparing for UPSC, you can join Unacademy. You can go for agriculture optional. This option is taken by me. Paper 2 has already started, so you have the option of joining agriculture, and what you have to do is you have to take the subscription of Unacademy. There are many GS related batch courses for prelims for 2022 2023. So you can go for a combo pack. It means optional will also be covered and GS will also be covered. There is this option of Iconic where mentor will be assigned to you. Mains answer which you write, it will be evaluated. Study planner will be there. So this combo pack you can go for, in which you will have all the GS subjects and optional. You can go for 1 year or 2 years. If you're using this code SP Live, the amount will reduce by 10%. You have to visit unacademy.com, then you can select UPSC CSC, and after that you can take the subscription. So you can send your answer of the mains in this Telegram channel dailydose with s.pandey to download PDF of this session. You can visit this Telegram channel, that is SP Current Affairs. You can follow me on Unacademy, unacademy.com/@SPLive. So let's see. First topic is beyond the central vista verdict, key questions. In this whole article which is published, two important points have been highlighted in this paragraph, and very unique points that can be used in examination. Horizontal versus vertical accountability. Vertical accountability, very important points that have been highlighted. So we will try to understand. We all are aware about the Central Vista project. What is basically Central Vista project? As I discussed, as per the Central Vista project, new parliament building is constructed. There is separate building that will be constructed for all the ministries. There will be a single building for that. So because of the construction of new parliament building, or this single building for all the offices of ministry, there will be change in land use pattern in around 87 acre of land. So it can have ecological impact. Second point is you require around 13,000 crore rupees. So this amount can be diverted. There have been many petitions considering these two concerns on Honorable Supreme Court, but Honorable Supreme Court has refused to intervene. It has said it is the prerogative of the executive to take the decision regarding where to spend the money. So judiciary has refused to intervene. Now people have their own concern. If you talk about citizens, they have their own concern. You have to understand this idea of what we call it as procedural form of democracy, and this idea of what we call it as participative form of democracy. When you talk about procedural form of democracy, it means certain ritualistic aspect of democracy is taking place. There is a election, everyone is voting, about 18 years he or she is voting. So everything that is required for running a democracy is done. But when there is a participation of citizens in the governance process and procedures, we call it as participative form of democracy. So when you talk about the participation, we say government alone does not have the responsibility to govern. It is the responsibility not only of the government but other stakeholders, including media, including citizens, civil society. Everyone can participate in this process of governance. Again, this aspect you have to understand. So if citizens have certain expectations, citizens feel that they have their concern, they need to approach to either judiciary. They provide for the judiciary provide for judicial review. If certain action has been taken by the executive and citizens feel that it is against their interest, they can approach court and judiciary can review that decision of the executive. But once judiciary also refuses to intervene, under such condition citizens can opt for public pressure and political persuasion. So if you are using this word called accountability, what is the accountability? Accountability simply means that the person or the individual is responsible for his or her action. The action taken by that person or the institution, he is accountable for that person. And it is very important in the democracy that all the public institutions or all the action taken by the public institutions are taking the responsibility of that action. So we call it as accountability. So there are two means of accountability. One is horizontal accountability. It means government institution, they set separate parallel government institutions to make them accountable. For executive can be made accountable by the judiciary, or you can have a CAG like institution, or some other regulatory organizations are there which can make government action accountable. So we call it as horizontal accountability. When you talk about vertical accountability, here the people participation is very important. If people are participating in the process of governance, take the example of Manrega. If Manrega scheme is implemented, then social auditing can be done. Under social auditing, the beneficiary can participate in carrying out the auditing relating to efficacy and the relevancy of efficacy and the relevancy of that scheme. It means beneficiaries are directly participating in carrying out the relevancy of that scheme, or identifying out whether that scheme is properly implemented or not. It means in accountability process and paradigm, citizens are directly participating. Such participation, we call it as vertical accountability. So for any city project, it is important, like for the master planning, regulation, stakeholder consultation, all these things, citizens can participate. Citizens, they can participate. Citizens need not to be at the mercy of official or judge interpretation. Citizens can participate in the process of governance, and they can make the government project and the governance and the action taken for the governance under accountability paradigm. It can be challenged also, or if certain improvement is required, some steps can be taken by the citizen itself if they are participating in the process of governance. Second is grading India's counter coercive strategy. This is related with India and China. So there are few points that we have to understand. To counter China, we have taken many steps, like we have discussed about quadrilateral dialogue, in which USA is a part, Japan is a part, Australia is a part. India has signed agreement with Australia, USA. We can say India is also trying to develop good relationship among the neighboring countries. For example, Maldives with Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. India is opposing one belt, one road initiative. Even in line of actual control, when there is a conflict in that area also, where China is opting for expansionist tendency and it is trying to intrude into the area of India. India has taken tough stand, and it has stopped any adventurous step taken by China along the LAC. So this step India has also taken. So India has opted for many steps, military related thing. It has also economic posturing, diplomatic step has also been taken. Many of the steps have been taken by the India. if China is not ready to listen, again, India can opt for an ultimatum. India can opt for an ultimatum. It means certain multidimensional military action can be taken, but to a limited level. It cannot be converted into a full-fledged war. So these few ideas have been highlighted in this article. Next is related with GDP. When you talk about GDP, yesterday also we have discussed estimation has been made by NSO relating to GDP, and they are saying, as per the estimation, they have highlighted that in India the gross domestic product is slowly recovering. For example, when you talk about GDP is money value. GDP is money value of all goods and services produced in the country. Money value of goods and services produced in the country. If you are subtracting the input cost related with raw material, that is being used for the production, raw material, or for example, if you are producing the goods and services, so the input cost, if you are subtracting the input cost, you will get gross value addition. We are saying that we are moving towards a V-shaped recovery. It means first the economy is declining and then economy is recovering. So we call it as a V-shaped recovery. So National Statistical Office, it projected GDP in 12 months ending March almost this much, rupees 134.4 lakh crore in constant price, reflecting a 7.7% contraction. To reach that level, NSO has assumed that slowly the economy will recover. Almost 16% contraction was there in April-September period, and it sees that GDP just a mere 10,400 crore short of the year earlier. It means NSO is somehow thinking that economy will recover soon. But if you see expenditure side or from gross value addition side, as I explained you, so it is said that NSO assumption is quite optimistic. In reality, the expenditure on part of private consumption expenditure or the government expenditure is although has increased, but private consumption expenditure, which is the biggest component propelling GDP, it has shrinked. So that need to be improved. If it doesn't improve, if private consumption expenditure doesn't improve, there is a huge possibility that that demand in the economy will not be generated, which may further hamper the economic growth as well. Also, NSO expect manufacturing to shrink 9.4% this fiscal, almost 20% contraction in the first half. Hotel, transport, communication, broadcasting contracting, they have also been affected. They are also contracting because of pandemic or the lockdown. This is also one point. NSO sees government final consumption expenditure jumping 17%. NSO sees government final consumption expenditure jumping 17%. The government expenditure has increased, but in future with increase in the responsibility, this expenditure can also be reduced. So all these points that you need to remember, these data will change in future. After 2-3 months, these data will change. So you just need to understand the argument, no need to mug up these data. Next is night and day. You all are aware about the mishap that has happened in Uttar Pradesh, and a member of National Women Commission, she has highlighted that that women should not go outside during night. Now such type of argument somehow highlights the kind of viewpoint that is being carried out by by the society as a whole. So when you talk about, like yesterday, you must have seen a question on patriarchy, and it has been linked with social inequality. When you talk about social inequality means there is uneven distribution of the resources. Also, socio-economic political opportunities are very limited to certain caste, or some people from other religion. This social inequality can be visible, but because of the patriarchal mindset, women is much more facing this inequality aspect. It means there is less accessibility of the resources and very limited opportunity at the level of socio-economic or political aspect. So what we have to think is that patriarchy is a gender neutral term, and this patriarchy can be visible in men also and in other gender also, because such kind of a statement made by the women commission, by the senior member of the National Women Commission, it highlights that the viewpoint or the mindset can be carried by anyone in the society, which somehow affect the gender equality within the society. So such attitude need to be changed. This is the basic thing. If you talk about the impact of such patriarchal mindset or thought process, it impacts the woman growth not only in an organization but even in society. At the family level, society level, every level, women has to face certain discrimination. The kind of freedom which is ensured to a man, actually woman is devoid of such type of freedom. Insensitive utterance from a national women commission actually somehow sent a wrong message, and it reflects a kind of a primitive mindset where lawlessness is overlooked and responsibility, because a safe environment, to provide a safe environment or provide such environment where women can move freely or where women can work freely, such kind of environment to be provided, and it is the responsibility not of the society but also of government. So we need to take steps accordingly. Many of the women, they have worked in the area of science and technology. They have reached the zenith, or we can say they have reached to an height, and they are serving as a role model for other women to grow. There has been equal right movements. If women are stopped from going out, or somehow their freedom to move is curbed, then it may impact their working and their growth as well. So we have to end the gender prejudice not only in the government, police, or in the family, in the society and in the government as a whole, and everyone need to work to provide a safe environment to women. After Nirbhaya incident in 2012, a criminal law amendment act has been passed, a stringent punishment crime, but still crime against women continues. So some other steps also need to be taken, especially this patriarchal mindset need to be ended. For gender parity, not only in workforce but also in family, in society, in different organization. For that we have to take some steps, both from the government side and the society as a whole. If you see the participation of the women in the workforce, it is not that good. That participation need to be increased. It is just 10.7% of the total workforce. Also, it has been highlighted that because of the pandemic, more women has lost the job in comparison to men, and after things improved, women were not able to again get their job, unlike men. Next is youth kill endangered dolphin in Uttar Pradesh. So we have to understand, we need to know about the Gangetic dolphin. It was distributed throughout Ganga, Brahmaputra, Karnafuli, Sanghu river. They are tributary in India, Nepal, Bangladesh. The Gangetic dolphin is found down stream of Biznor, Beras, tributaries like Ram, Ganga, Yamuna, Gomti, Ghagra, Rapti, San, Gandak, Kosi, Brahmaputra river. So just you need to remember in which area this dolphin is found. Recently, Indian Prime Minister has announced Project Dolphin to protect these dolphins. These river dolphins are unique species that are found in Asia also and South America, and due to different factors, for example, unscientific fishing or overfishing or killing or change in the habitat or change in or increase in the pollution in rivers, all these factors are impacting these dolphins. Let's see the question is vertical accountability ensures participatory form of democracy. So this question, you can send the answer of this question in Telegram channel Daily Dose with S. Pandey. Please try to send it before 5:30 p.m. And while writing the answer, if you want to read something, you can read it. If you are taking time, you can take the time. The idea is that you need to develop a thought process and you are able to write the answer in a well structured manner. If you learn writing the answer in a structured manner with a certain with passage of time, you will be able to write a good answer within the time limit. So keep writing. Writing is again very important. I request to you all, do subscribe the channel and don't forget to like and share this session. Thank you everyone, and let's crack it.